Hello everyone, this is Blair Space again, and we're gonna having another Kaiju, not new Kaiju, more like a Kaiju remodel review. So yeah, and in today's video, it's going to be Anguirus, the Anguirus remodel. And on a side note, I actually have mine, I remaxed it in like a day, because I just power grind, so a video for max level Anguirus should be ready. I also have another video idea coming after that. Like, I have some plans, like, you know, I don't think you'll have to wait a full week this time around, which is gonna be nice. But anyway, here's the walk animation. This is the idle. This is a sprint or roll, per se. Here is Fused Rage animation rework. Here is Fused Cry rework. Pretty good. Next we have Tail Slam. Next we have Piercing Wallop. And then there's Gnaw. Now, my opinions, walking animation, I kind of wish he used all of his legs. He's just dragging himself, like, he crawled on all fours. He didn't just use his two front legs and drag himself around. He had the baby crawl. Not the rapper, but, you know, the baby crawl. Not just him dragging his lower half and ass along with him everywhere he went, unless he just did this. And I will say the roll it's good in a goofy way. Like, I will say I like this. You know, it's pretty amusing in my opinion. Fused Rage animation, I thought was good. Fused Cry, good. Roar stayed the same, and he already has good roars. Tail Slam, it looks a bit robotic. Like, if you look at it from especially from the top, like, it just looks a bit robotic in my opinion. Piercing Wallop animation, pretty good. Gnaw's animation is pretty good. Now let's check out the swimming animation, because that's the last thing we have to test. Animation-wise, at least. And I would say, yeah, it's pretty decent. I would say it's a bigger upgrade from the old Anguirus model, which had no swimming animation. It was just like him running or walking through the water. So it's a definite upgrade. It's a definite upgrade. Now, how would I view him tier list wise? Now, beforehand, despite, well, you know, agree to disagree, but I thought he was like mid C tier or so. But the gap between him and those below him was huge. Like, it was a significant gap because he was just that much better, especially compared to the other starters. His downsides being beams from far away, flyers, and just flyers with beams. And people don't. Plus, not to mention, he's good at melee, but he's not the best. Like, there are Kaiju that could have beaten him at melee beforehand. Like, and as I was saying, people kind of underestimate just how much of an impact flyers made. I will say that the reverse flight nerf doesn't really affect his ranking, but what did affect his ranking was his remodel. For two reasons. One, just watch how fast I can combo, and compare it to, if you can remember how much faster the old Anguirus combos were. Just watch the cooldowns. At least in my opinion, I would say that the cooldowns are significantly, like, a bit longer. As far as I'm aware, Piercing Wallop went from like 2.8 to 3.5. Gnaw, I think both Tail Slam and Gnaw were both at 1.6, but like Gnaw went to 2 seconds, and Tail Slam is like 2.6 or 2.4 at the moment. So, you know, it's like they're all a bunch of, technically on paper, not long, but added together, it's definitely, you know, overall a combo nerf. And top this off, his hip... Now, granted, I'm hitting all the buildings right now, right? So, you know, but against the other Kaiju, especially like the medium, the small-sized ones, even large ones you can miss sometimes. His melee hitboxes are way smaller now. That and he's bigger now. So it's easier for you to get hit, but it's also harder for you to hit your opponents sometimes. So not only are your combos slower, but they're kind of harder to hit. However, they gave him a huge speed buff for this. With the roll, because of the roll animation, he now has a base sprint or rolling speed of 40, which is like the third fastest land speed for ground kaiju. Second being a tie between Jet and Kumanga, and first being Mother Long Legs. But I would say this does stop him from being complete poop. Now, in my opinion, I believe he went from being one spot above Gojira to being one spot below Gojira. I will say this is not by a huge amount though. Like, don't think that every time a Gojira fights a Anguirus, the Anguirus is going to get dumpstered. Like, I will say it's a pretty close matchup, in my opinion. Like the Gojira with his atomic breath, he'll range you, you'll lose a fair bit of health. By the time he gets in melee range, first of all, his individual melees are stronger. Like, sure, you can combo way faster, but has a higher success rate when it comes to hitting melees. Just better hitboxes, you're bigger, but you have smaller hitboxes and he's smaller. So he'll probably win by like a 1 or 2 melee difference in that case scenario. However, I do like how Anguirus is, like, as of now. Because in my opinion, it gives him a niche as, like, the tank slash, like, you know, highest survivability out of all the starters. Simply due to the fact that, for a starter, his base health is 3,300, and at max health is 4,200, and he has the highest speed out of all starters and the third highest land speed out of all ground kaiju. That easily gives him the highest survivability out of all starters. He just, in terms of melee, he's not nearly as good as he used to be anymore, but overall, I think this is a better change, and it gives him, like, a better niche compared to the other starters, instead of him just dominating all the starters in every other category. Well, I wouldn't say every other category, but basically, beforehand, he was very overwhelming. But yeah, I'd say that's my thoughts on it. So I hope you enjoyed the video, but we're going to end this off. I'm going to try and keep up with, you know, stay consistent, but we're going to finish this off with his death animation.